G'day brewers, we're here with Lachy from FAFF Brewing today, and we're going to talk about this new brewing range that's come to market. So, Lachy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hey guys. Thanks for having us on. So I guess, about me that you'd be interested in. I'm a career brewer, um, which I guess I got into the industry in a slightly different way. A lot of people come through the home brew pathway. I was never a home brewer. I always refer to myself as like a career brewer, like a career firefighter. I always thought that was a funny analogy. Not that anything I do is that important, but um, so yeah, look, I guess I got into the industry about 2010, so over more than 15 years ago now. I applied for a job at Gage Roads as an assistant brewer when they were going through a big growth stage. So I just got a gig, on the tools there, pretty early days, and then yeah, just carried on there, worked through brewing department, quality, packaging, engineering, and then ended up back as like 2IC of the brewing department. There, we're doing about 14 million liters a year of various brands at the time. It was fairly hectic, going through some pretty, stupid growth. I think, 400% in 18 months is a stat I remember from back then. So yeah, that was
Wow. Yeah.
pretty, I guess, learning. Thrown in the deep end and sink or swim, right? So managed to get through some of that, and then I did that for about 5 years, and then spent some time traveling through Europe and worked in the UK at Camden Town Brewery for a little bit, just on shift as shift brewer. It was really fun. Um, and then yeah, came back to Australia and we founded well co-founded Ballistic Beer up in Brisbane. So that was a cool project. So we took that from nothing to five venues, five production sites, 1 million liters a year. Um, yeah, 85 staff at one point. Like that was pretty crazy ride. And then left that after fuck, I don't know, 6 years ish doing that, and then got into actually got out of operational brewing, so I wasn't making beer for a bit. So I started a company doing equipment manufacturing and brewing equipment manufacturing and installation consulting for the brewing industry, and then have just now this year, a few months ago, launched FAFF, which is latest creative outlet, I guess, for IPA lovers.
Yeah, cool. So, tell us about FAFF, what FAFF's about, and why. What do you want to do with this brand, and how is it different from others out there on the market?
Yeah, look, so FAFF, I guess, I mean, so FAFF starting off stands for fresh as fucking fuck. Um, so also it's kind of funny because I'm just faffing about, right? Like it's just, a bit of pissing around. But um, yeah, it was actually my mate Tom came up with that. So thanks, Tom. I'll give you some free beer one day. But yeah, look, so when I was at Ballistic, we launched a range called Sleep When You're Dead, that you guys would be familiar with.
Yeah.
So that was a range of IPAs that had an 8 week dead by date. And so that was a slightly different model where we would wholesale that, we'd pre-sell it to wholesalers around Australia that would, well, retailers, and then they would, basically the idea was that if any of that beer was left on the shelf after 8 weeks, we would actually buy that beer back from them and destroy it, right? So so that was something I mean, I'm always so passionate about fresh beer. Like I've been so privileged in my career. I've been a beer judge for more than a decade. I've worked in breweries and lots of breweries, and I get to go into a lot of other people's breweries. And one of the most special experiences you have is to be able to drink beer directly from a tank, right? There's nothing better because beer just ages and goes downhill so quickly because of all the volatile hoppy beers particularly, but all of those volatile aromatic and flavor components, they just go, right? So being able to go and drink beer from a bright beer tank, there's no better beer experience as far as I'm concerned. And so I know that consumers of craft beer don't get to experience that. And so since I got out of brewing, I started buying a lot more beer because wasn't getting it for free, right? So, and my experience was that I was spending a lot of hard-earned money on beer that was probably really good when it was made, but it had been sitting on the shelf for 6 months and it was just crap, right?
Yeah.
And so I
And that can
felt,
happen even direct from a brewery, right? Like it's
mm,
not even just, third party or something. Like you can even get old beer when you order direct from a brewer, yeah.
yeah, and that sucks, right? Because it's something that was so special. And so I wanted to, I guess the core of it is wanting to educate consumers. I mean, I make really small batches of beer. It's more about flying the flag for fresh beer so that people, when they can experience, go, yeah, yes, this is it. Because I know all the brewers I talk to, they support this too, right? They want to drink fresh beer. They want their customers to drink fresh beer. They want everyone to have a better beer experience so that we can take market share away from the big guys, right? I mean, that's what we all want this industry to do better. So I guess that's kind of the idea. I get to have some fun making some beers I love in the meantime, swear a bit on podcasts, and, like, that's sort of what it's all about. So,
Cool.
but yeah, all IPAs, always fresh. So I guess I'm not talking about my own brand at all. We brew the beer, we pre-sell it before while it's still in tank. So then that beer goes out in pre-sale, it sells out, well, all the last 3 batches have sold out before we've canned it. We can it, it goes into post that day, and then basically the idea is hopefully people are drinking it before the weekend.
Yeah.
So, and if
Like
not,
within a week of it being packaged, yeah.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Yeah.
I've got here they've all gone. It's back to front, but I fished the can out of the recycle stuff.
Lovely.
And I wanted to ask you a little bit about what goes into this beer, because from a homebrew perspective, you put everything on the back of the can. I'll put up a picture later for the viewers. But Pale Compass, 65.5%, rolled oats for mouthfeel, obviously, winter wheat, chit barley. I thought I might just ask a few questions if that's all right. So winter wheat, I've heard people talk about that. I've never used it.
Yeah.
What does that bring to the beer?
Winter wheat. So my understanding, winter wheat is just
Sorry, can I pause you for a second?
Yes.
Sorry, I'll be back.
You're right. Got a delivery.
Look at that. The timing's perfect.
So you did say that. Wouldn't it be funny if it showed up when we were on the call?
If you want, Lachy, save it for after. But fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. We got the beer. That's really funny.
So yes,
half an hour earlier.
It has arrived. Yeah, it would have been nice. I even had ice ready to go so that I could do the whole.
Can you stick it in the freezer and we can drink it in 20 minutes?
Yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah.
Excellent. So it did arrive, funnily enough.
How do you want to carry on, Simon?
Sorry, you were explaining about winter wheat when I interrupted. Sorry about that. Take it away.
So I don't know what it is that you'd heard about winter wheat, but I mean, my understanding, and maybe wrong, but is that it's basically just the Voyager malted wheat that they supply. So that's just the name of it.
So it's malted wheat, like from any other
It's just
supplier?
malted wheat,
So
yeah.
is that right?
Is it just a variety that grows through the winter? Because some of those.
Well, I don't know the reason for the name. I actually did look into that yesterday because you sent through the notes, and I was like, I wonder if it is a variety. It's not.
It's an
It's
heirloom?
not the name of the variety, but it's just whatever their brand is. No, I should have texted you yesterday where I was flying and didn't get a chance to, but maybe we can put it in the show notes. I'll try and find out for you. Yeah. But my understanding is it's just malted wheat.
Okay,
and
cool.
The wheat is obviously in there for the mouthfeel and the aesthetics of the haze and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, proteins for haze, beta-glucans for haze and mouthfeel. But I also chose malted wheat. I wanted a little bit more like malt character. Like you can use rolled raw wheat, and they can come out really lightly coloured and lacking any malt flavour at all. Like you don't get heaps from the amount of wheat I use, but they can be. And I actually quite like those styles of hazies too. I just for this one I felt like I wanted a little bit more balls in it from a grist perspective, I guess.
Cool. Cool. Another question I had was in your thing you said you've done a dip hop with Dynaboost, and I did my own research. I looked that up. So it's a flowable hop extract thing that's designed to go in Whirlpool. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
so why that? Why did you select that?
Yeah,
Just
so
'cause you
that's a
could?
really good question, actually. This is kind of the genesis of this beer, right? So
Yeah.
that particular process. So I was in America earlier this year for CBC, the Craft Brewers Conference,
Mm.
and I was doing a bit of just traveling around some breweries with a friend of mine, Jasser from Frigid, who was over there for the same conference, and he lives in Adelaide too. So we spent a bit of time in California just drinking some beers, and one of his clients is this guy Gareth from Ambitious Ales in Long Beach. And so we went down and saw him. They had an event there, and I was just sort of poking my nose in the brewery, as I tend to do, get kicked out by hospitality staff normally, but got chatting with the brewer there, Gareth, and I was asking about, because he just won gold at GABF for this hazy IPA. It was called Professional Human Being. And I was like, what the fuck is this beer, man? Like, it was so good. And I'm like, what have you done? I've brewed a lot of hazy IPAs. I've got some, reasonable experience and understanding of process, but I know that things are evolving, and I've actually been out of commercial brewing for 3 or 4 years. So things have moved past. All these advanced products didn't exist hardly when I was still brewing commercially, right? So I was like, what the fuck is this beer? And he was really open, and all credit to him. He was like, I'm an open book, so he just hit me. And so what I found was really interesting is he had not one hop or hop product in the hop side at all. No kettle, no mash hopping, no fucking whirlpool, nothing, right? It's just like make wort, boil wort, knock out.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, like this is so, because I've always been a big whirlpool heavy brewer. Like even like some beers I'll get 100% of my IBUs only from whirlpool editions. Like I did that commercially a lot at Ballistic. A lot of those beers were like whirlpool only. Cooler whirlpools, played around with that, but I'd never gone as far as only fermentation or fermenter side hopping. So he was talking about using Dynaboost in as a dip hop. And so I was like, that's really cool. I'm quite interested in that process, because I'd been refining stuff, and I've been consulting for a brewery last year, I think, and had been speaking to a friend of mine, Jay. You probably know Jake Harrison. He's at Happy Valley now. So he'd been doing some really cool stuff at Helios at the time with their hazies, and which I was loving. And I was like, got some info from him about what he'd been doing to reduce hop burn and some of the processes there. And this kind of was just taking that a little step further. So I was like, I was kind of intrigued in that. So I was like, fuck it, first beer, go balls to the wall, try something I've never done. What's the risk, right?
I was going to say, it makes sense. Like the more I think about, okay, you're doing dip hop, so it's like 60 degrees or something, maybe. In the kettle.
Try to get about 80 was the idea.
80, okay, 80, and
Can you just maybe just give a 2-sentence explanation of dip hopping?
Yes, so dip hopping was, I think, developed by one of the Japanese brewers for lagers years ago, like Kirin or Asahi, I can't remember exactly which one, where basically you're putting, the original idea was you're steeping hops in 80-degree hot water in the fermenter for a period of time, and the idea is you're actually blowing off myrcene, so you're removing garlic and onion characters, and then you knock out your wort cold in on top of that hot soup, and then you then you basically ferment as normal. So that is the idea. So what I did with this, actually, I used wort, so we knocked out, it was about 10% of the kettle volume into the fermenter at about 80 degrees. It was kind of hard to get it exactly right because you're at the start of a transfer, you're a bit up. It could have been anywhere between 60 and 90, I don't know. But we got some volume in there that was hot, chucked the Dynaboost in, and then, and then waited, I think, 5 or 10 minutes, and then we knocked out in on top. And so,
so it's not it's not a long step, no.
No, it's quite quick. And so, it was like once we'd finished Whirlpool, I think, because there was no Whirlpool hops, it didn't matter too much, like an extra 5 minutes or so. But I think the calculated IBU not that I've had it tested. Who fucking knows what it is? But it's 4 IBUs, right?
On paper, yeah.
On paper, but also you're getting bitterness from dry hopping, and like there's other factors in there. It's not 4 IBUs. It's not great normal, right? But yeah.
Even that's probably more than that.
I don't know. I'd be surprised.
I don't know, mate.
Someone from CUB, prove me wrong.
The other thing you got in here was you put abstract Pineapple Express. Remember that, Andy?
I do.
That was the first video we did with the channel. We did a side by side. We added that to one. We did half batch. Added that to one lot of it and had it without to see the difference.
What were your thoughts?
Well, it came through a lot stronger than yours, but I added 2.5 mils to 9 litres, so I think I've added a lot more than you did, haven't I?
It was an amber beer as well, like an amber ale, so not nowhere near as much general hop character, and there's more for it to mix with in the beer that you did. So yeah, but absolutely you could definitely pick it up. I mean, it wasn't. If you buy that and you expect to get an effect, I mean, you get an effect. Right?
It was quite surprising. From the advanced hop products I've played with in my time, like even the last year or two, I was really impressed with the abstract stuff. I got onto it from Charlie Hodgson at Whoopee Brewing. Woolgoolga, I don't know if you're familiar with him and his beers, but he's an old hat and taught me a lot about recipe design and stuff, and he was using it some beers, and I was like, well, if he's using it, like, I got to have a look at this. But when we first dosed it, it was like a big bag of weed, eh? It was like, fuck, like it just overtook everything. But I think by the time people were drinking it, it had pulled back into the mix and integrated a little bit better. It just needed about a week to sort of sit back in the mix and not be a bully. But it was cool, man.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have picked it. I was surprised when I read the back of the can that was in there.
Right.
I didn't pick it. So obviously it sort of just blended in nicely with everything else.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just a terrible taster, right? One or the other. Yeah. No, cool. All right. Now I was going to ask you about a recipe I made. Actually, that's the one I'm drinking at the moment. And this beer, although most of it's gone now, it ends up feeling a little bit. It was supposed to be a hazy. Let me have a look at this.
Yeah, I might bring up the recipe too. I've got it.
Yeah.
2 secs. Let's have a chin wag about.
Well, I can maybe share this. Hang on, I can share this screen there.
Oh yeah.
There we go. You can see that. Yeah. So I put in Super Blend, which I thought, that's what I've done. That's sort of made it a bit more malt focused.
What is Super Blend? Can you?
So I think it's like 75% compass, not unlike what's in the FAFF one, and then there's a little bit, there's 3% chit and a little bit of Vienna, and I thought that would go all right. And then I've got a kilo of wheat and 500 grams of malted oats. And let's have a look. The sulfate to chloride is. Maybe I should have went a bit heavier on my chloride, 138 to 92. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so interesting. I've got a couple of comments on water salts, a few bits and pieces, but like why don't we start with the grist, right? Like,
okay.
Is that something Hoppy Days put together, that Super Blend?
So it is, yeah. So they just sell it as a pack, like, and the idea is that. If you just want a simple thing, there you go. It's got some chit for head retention. It's got and I resisted it for a long while, and then I did a pale ale with it, and I thought, I really like this. And so I bought a sack, and so that's what I had. So that's what I went with. Yeah.
So, look, the grist looks pretty good. I would say, in my opinion, for like how I design hazy IPAs, is I would say that your protein-heavy grains, beta-glucan heavy grains, are probably on the low side percentage. I've done as high as like high 30 percentages of rolled grain, like really leaning. So that's like rolled wheat and rolled oats.
Yeah.
Like 37-38% total of grist. I would say also that you've got all malted stuff in there. So
Yes.
I think your beta-glucan, which adds to mouthfeel, particularly, is probably going to be lower in the malted grains than you would in the raw stuff. So rolled oats, rolled wheat, those sort of things. So that's probably contributing.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's just how I build these grits, right?
No, that makes sense, yeah.
But I think, for me, when it comes to recipe design, and this is something that took me a long time to... Because I was always like, oh, that sounds cool, that ingredient sounds cool. It's just like, put them together and, like, you know...
It'll be double cool.
Yeah, I've got caramel and then I've got fucking fruit. Like, caramel and fruit sounds great, right? But what I tend to do now, and what I've done for the last few years, probably 5+ years, now is I actually write the tasting notes of a beer before. So if I have an idea for a beer, I imagine myself experiencing that beer, sitting down wherever, my back deck or whatever, and actually drinking that beer, and then I write the tasting notes for it, how I would if it was a commercial beer, whether it is or not. And then I take that and I reverse engineer it. So I go, how am I going to achieve that? What processes, what ingredients are going to give me the result I want? Because then I end up, you're not putting in stuff that sounds cool at the time, which is I tended to previously, and something Charlie actually from Whoopi always said to me is like, when you review your recipe, if you can't justify it's in there, fuck it off. You know, simple's often better, right? Because you can always build on that. But yeah, it's easy to and not commenting specifically on this, but it is easy to overcomplicate things and have things that are, you know, have too much in there, when sometimes clarity or simplicity is key. So but I guess before we dig too deep into this, would it be worth you giving me a bit of a rundown of what you were trying to achieve, what sort of NEPA hazy IPAs you like, maybe some commercial examples of ones that you dig or you would like to emulate, and maybe that would give a better structure or something for us to dig into.
Yeah, what I was shooting for was something a bit more in the grist of that sort of thing. So it's not, and that's what surprised me with that. When I looked at it and I saw it was Compass, I was like, oh, that's basically what mine is as well. But it's a very different finish to what I got in mine.
And what was the finish that you got? You said it was a bit bitter, or
it was.
You
it
said
was
West Coast blend, right?
So it was a bit bitter, but it wasn't as dry and sharp as a West Coast. I think, you know, because of the water chemistry there, and it didn't have that. It doesn't have that soft mouth feel. It feels a bit more, even though it's kind of thick and almost hop, like a double IPA sort of thing. That sort of thick hop, sort of almost like Super Hornet or something like that to compare it to. That's what it feels a little bit like, more like that than that sort of soft, not as bitter, hazy IPA.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So, like, mouthfeel-wise specifically, there's like a number of things that like contribute to that, right? It's not just one thing, and that's where this sort of shit gets complicated, and it's trial and error, right? Because you've got like salt profile from waters, finishing gravity, grist, beta-glucans, protein, bitterness, hop burn, alcohol percentage. What else do I write down here? That's about it, right? So they're like 9 things already, right? And they all interact with each other
fair enough,
to give different things. So, you know, like water, for example, like, you know, if we look at the water profile of this, and I can't remember exactly what I did with my beer, but it's somewhere, which I can dig out if that's of interest. But I would say that there's probably, for hazy I would design, too much gypsum in this beer, and I think you flagged that before. You could go, some people are going as high as 250 plus ppm of chloride.
Right. Yeah, and that always freaks me out once I get up over 150. I think, ooh.
Oh, when you can get chalkiness too, but I reckon when we brewed Hawaiian Haze, when that was in its heyday, like that was good at times. Like that was over 200 ppm, I reckon, from memory. I can't remember the exact recipe. But this beer, I reckon, was more like 170 to 190 ppm chloride, and I reckon that sulfate was down at like 50, 60 maybe. I can't remember exactly, and if you want me to dig it out, I can. But that was something that I think people get a little bit trigger shy with salts. I think water really matters, but it's one of those last few percent things that if you've got a solid recipe that's not doing anything crazy, your water's not out of the not crazy, and you've got healthy fermentation, you can have a pretty good beer. So it's one of the last little screws that give you the couple of one percenters, I guess. Like, it is important, don't get me wrong. I know, it is super important. But yeah, look, from that, I would suggest if you're going for like a softer mouthfeel, up that chloride, get that up to closer to 200. And bring that sulfate back.
To closer to 50, did you say? Cool.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? And go from there. And
get more unmalted oats or something like that in there to bump up.
Uncle Toby's, man.
It's easy to get
that in there. But I would get that. I wouldn't probably never brew a hazy IPA with less than 15-20% rolled oats, just straight up. Like, first thing I put in after base malt would be rolled oats.
Because this one's 15%.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, so that's going to help. So having more beta glucans is going to help. The other thing is your bitterness. Is probably something to look at. Because it's quite high.
Because I'm adding, See, 35, I was like, I didn't mind a little bit of bitterness, but maybe if I had those other things, like more like some oats in there and those salt additions you mentioned, that might have softened out the bitterness a bit too. But yeah, you're right.
Well, yeast actually is the other thing I didn't mention. Contributes to mouthfeel too. So yeast selection is a big one as well. So there are all these things that, there's not just one silver bullet. But and I know Scott Janish, the king of hazy IPAs, like he puts 60-minute additions in his hazy IPAs. I've never once done that, and I've never ever felt the need to do that either. In fact, I've never brewed a hazy IPA with any hops before Whirlpool.
Okay, fair enough. And so, that's where I've sort of got that from. Putting little 60 is from reading people like Scott Janish and the likes. And probably people who have heard Scott Janish say that and repeated
10 grams of Magnum.
Like...
That's right.
Cool.
But as Lachy said, almost right at the start when we were talking about the hop products, right? I mean, it is changing really fast. If you went back 2 or 3 years, people are doing things really differently. I mean, it really is a very dynamic kind of environment at the moment, especially for hazies and a lot of other beers as well. It's hard to keep up almost at the moment, I mean, I like to think I'm pretty close to it in terms of the, what's new. But it doesn't, it's not rare to hear about something you've never heard of before.
I mean, it's still hops. Like people are like, we use this hop, and like there's
what's
like
that?
peacherine, and I'm like, you put fruit in your beer? Like, no, it's the name of a hop. Never fucking heard of it, right? Like, I talk to brewers every day, so it's pretty wild. So
crazy.
So I just wanted
how did you find that? You've used that Pomona a few times, Simon. Have you? How did you find? How are you finding that?
Well, that was that beer, and maybe that did contribute to that feel that I got. It's designed for hazies. It's a hybrid yeast, and it's been designed for hazies, so it's meant to give you haze, and it's meant to be dialed in with all those biotransformation things, and it did like the hop character of the beer came out very nicely. I think maybe also what I might have found in that, I mentioned it was more like a double IPA. I think I might have had a bit more of the piney sort of character to it than I wanted in the end. And so that might have been part of it. Maybe I didn't get as much of those biotransformation things as I wanted. But
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. I homebrew with Pomona once, so I do some homebrewing now. I got a little grandfather I just piss around with, but my experience with Pomona was that the biotrans character was quite prominent, but I found it dried out a little bit more than, say, Verdant or some other hazy yeast. I found it just had a dryness on the palate a little bit that was a little bit different. So, not that I played with it heaps, but that I think it's meant to. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but my memory is that it's like kind of that, you say that hybrid, like it's like the middle ground IPA somewhere, like what they're calling northern IPAs now. We used to call them mountain IPAs back in the day, in between East Coast, West Coast.
Well,
but yeah,
well, that's
feel
what
like
I ended up with in the end. I think like that's what it reminds me of. So maybe the yeast played a role in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what number 3 that you just got in the post. Like that is meant to be that sort of hybrid middle ground mountain IPA style thing.
What are those yeasts that you're using there, Lockie? I don't know them at all. The BSY AE10 and AE11.
Yeah, Bluestone. So it's Bluestone, New England.
I've never seen it written like that. Sorry, that was all. But that's the one.
Yeah. I just I don't know. I just got that off their website.
I'm sure it's on there. I just never hear.
Yeah, maybe I should write Bluestone, New England. It's probably better. I don't know.
Good.
When I was designing the cans, I think it fit better using the code.
Fair enough.
For sure. Yeah,
more
for
compact,
sure.
Yeah.
I think that would be my go-to if I was doing Verdant or Bluestone New England is good. Yeah.
What I've done in the past, I've usually gone to, and Jesse did that, and he was Jesse's another member in our club who made an excellent hazy, and I said to him, why don't you try those two Lullerman yeast? There's a New England one, and and the Verdant, pitch them both. Because then you're getting the best of both worlds was my thought. You're going to pitch two packs anyway, so and he was stoked with that. He was really happy with the outcome. I can't remember the names of the enzymes, but one's high in that citrus sort of releasing enzyme, and one's high in the thiolizing type enzymes, the beta glucanase, something like that. Anyway,
I can't remember.
That's right.
Yes. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and they were sort of complementary in that way. I was pitch them both and see what, and so that's what I've done in the past, and I've been pretty happy with that actually. And he was pretty happy with the result from that.
That was a good beer.
Nice.
I wanted to give you a chance, Lockie, just to give us any other tips for home brewers making a hazy IPA. If there's something we haven't touched on already, but we probably have covered a lot of it.
Yeah. So I think recipe design, obviously. I mean, I'm a big, just for brewing in general, like I'm a massive advocate for beers made by yeast and not by brewers, right? Fermentation. Like cellar process is the most critical thing you'll do, maybe equal with DO management, to make great beers. Any hazy beer, hoppy beer, any beer, right? Cellar management. Fucking not sitting around on dead yeast, fucking healthy yeast pitches, good aeration, cold break dumps. Like an old head brewer of mine used to say, a finished beer's like a person, it needs to have a shit every day. So like making sure you're pulling that like bottom off your cone every day, right? Like it's really important for cleanliness.
Really? Okay, yeah.
But I've found, like, home brewing in the last few years that one of the biggest challenges I've had was getting, like, good fresh hops, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's something that's really been a challenge, and it's all repackaged, right? So you're kind of at the mercy of whoever's doing that. And I know there's good people out there, and you probably know more than me. I try and steal hops off other breweries where I get the opportunity, because at least I know what I'm getting, right? But
well, and they often get a better selection, don't they, than what the likes of us are buying in the retail stores.
Yeah, well, maybe the retailers get similar, crops, but it's repackaged, it's rehandled. Like there's just risk there, right? So that's something I'd really focus on, is fresh ingredients, particularly hops. Fermentation, like use good yeast, use fresh yeast, store it well, look after it, make sure you're getting healthy ferments. Temperature control, like, I know it's all just basic shit. Clean vessel to ferment in that you can control the temperature on accurately with healthy yeast, with a shit beer recipe and a fucked brew day where your wort is average, will make a great beer. I'm dead set on that. So everyone focuses on wort production and recipe design. Everyone should focus on hygiene and DO management and healthy ferments. And then if you do that, you're fucking 80% of the way there, like, straight away. And I know that's not specific to hazy IPAs. But, yeah. And then, I guess, yeah, coming back to, like, like, designing that beer backwards. So, like, looking, I want to copy a beer like this. I want a beer to taste like this in my head. Like, what do I need to do to achieve that? And if I don't know, how do I find out? Like, that's sort of been my approach. And you can kind of get reasonably consistent results. And the other thing that I've been doing a lot with these beers, actually, is not being wed to a recipe or an idea. Like, if I try something, like number 3 is a good example, right? Where I brewed that, and I'm like, this beer is pretty good, but it needs something else. So, actually, number 2, never had Nelson Cryo in it, but it was a wicked beer.
Well, let's talk about those. I've got number 2 there. Why don't you tell us about that a bit more, and tell us what to expect from that one and what went into it, and then we'll talk about number 3.
Yeah, so this is, I guess, I try not to put labels on the beer other than IPA, intentionally, because people can kind of make up their own mind, but for me this is a dry, bitter, modern West Coast IPA. So modern as in it's really lean in its malt profile. I've used like the lightest Voyager malt that we could get, so it's Atlas, it's basically their Pilsner malt, 5% dextrose to dry it out, used the Bluestone American Ale yeast, San Diego, whatever, I can't remember, it's on the can, to try and get like high attenuation, dry finish. It finished about, what did it say, 2 Plato-ish, well this says 3.1, it actually finished a bit lower than that, so just to be clear, what I put on the can, other than the legal stuff, like ABV is always accurate because it has to be, but like some of the specs, some of the ingredients, I actually tweak, and I put that in my email stuff as I go. So like it was a little bit dry, which I think helped the beer a little bit too. Like it really has sat into a really nice, neat space. But yeah, it's meant to be 100 BUs, and yeah, like bitter, aggressive, dry, fruity, hoppy, like just like overwhelmingly hoppy. So when we brewed it, we like it came out, it was finished. I'd done the first dry hop. Like I always tend to do dry hops post fermentation as well. I don't normally do mid ferment stuff. I've had mixed results with that in the past, particularly around hop burn on hazy stuff. So I try to steer clear of that where I can. But for this, this sort of beer, it came out and I'm like, this is wicked. The guys, I'm brew these beers at 612, so I was talking to the guys there, and they're like, this beer's kick-ass. And I'm like, nah, it needs more. So I had like 1.5 kilos of Nelson Cryo in the fridge. I'm like, I'm just going to chuck it in. It's the whole lot, just like go. And then like came out the next day, and I was like, I'm so glad I did. Like it just gave it that little bit of something else.
Yeah.
That it needed.
Yeah.
Which was never intended to be there. So.
Are you changing the temperature? Are you sort of? I've heard about there's a recent trend towards dry hopping, cold. I mean, obviously not cold, but reducing the temperature for that. Do you do that at all? Is that? Yeah. So you don't sort of leave it at 20 or wherever it's been at for the ferment. You bring it down from there, do you?
Typically, I bring it down. So my process for most of my career has been, I actually worked with a guy in England, and he had worked at, one guy that worked at Stone Brewing, and one guy that worked at Firestone Walker, and their typical process is VDK negative, post-ferment, finish gravity, VDK negative, and then drop temperature to 16 degrees, pull yeast off, and then dry hop. And then you can do like, sometimes I'll rouse that in if I feel necessary, like it's necessary at the time. But yeah, then 16 degree dry hops is generally my go-to for all IPAs. Depending, I think I did one a little bit colder on number 3. Like, I think I chilled to 14, second dry hop, and then chilled at, like, set the temperature lower as soon as I dry hop. So then it got the charge at 14, but then it came down over 12 hours. So it kind of got like a span of temperature. But yeah, that's pretty common. 16C is my go-to.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So
that one you were describing sounds, I mean, if you had to put a label on it, it sounds more like kind of a cold IPA, the way, like with the kind of really light Pilsner malt and the dry finish, and then the big hopping schedule, you know.
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, they're not using lager yeast, right, or rice, or I mean, I've brewed a lot of IPLs as well, back before
somewhere in between, I guess, like
existed, but like that's why I call it a modern West Coast, right? Like, or maybe California IPA is like a common term. I don't know what the fuck all these things mean, man. Like,
I like the idea of just saying it's an IPA. You choose for yourself, right? Like,
choose your own adventure, right? But I mean, so I've spent a fair bit of time in the States the last few years, drinking beer, like IPAs in California predominantly. And this beer, number 2, actually reminds me a lot of like a big... So what was really popular when I was there last June is like this West Coast Pilsner. And some of the fucking beers over there, holy shit, man. Like, they're just lean, dry, firmly bitter without being aggressive. And they're just like exploding with hop flavour and aroma. And they're just some of my favourite beers to drink. If I didn't have an IPA-only brand, I'd probably brew only West Coast Pilsners. But... this to me is like an Imperial West Coast Pilsner. That's how it tastes to me, but with American ale yeast. Like, that's what it reminds me of when I drink it now. It's like this, like,
Can't wait to get mine.
Oh, baby.
It's right on my street, that.
Yeah. So, really happy. I mean, I'm really happy with that beer. Drink too much of it, and it
of course
kicks my ass every day. But,
yeah. Why wouldn't you, though? Yeah.
Number 3.
Number 3, yeah. So this is like that. I actually did a homebrew of this beer idea maybe a year or 2 ago. It's like that. I was calling it a hybrid IPA. A new school IPA, or whatever. I don't know what the fuck I was calling it. I had no idea at the time, but it's like taking the best things that you love about East Coast IPAs, and the best things you love about West Coast, and kind of smashing them together and trying to get something that makes sense in the middle. So I did the homebrew of this. I actually toasted all my oats in the oven. So it came out like this golden, malty, biscuity oats, and then it was just, I think, ale malt and just like a light ale malt and oats, probably like 20% or 30%. So tends to be my go-to.
I've got the thing up here. It says 63% Compass, 21% Munich Schooner, rolled oats 10%, and then 6% dextrose. Sound right?
That was the other thing I did with the homebrew. Actually, funny story. I was homebrewing. I did the first batch of this beer, and I chucked I'd been playing around brewing water for my homebrew kit, but I was a bit sus on the numbers. I was like, I don't know. Like, I was a bit... anyway, chucked in my sugar. I used to use table sugar when I brew at home. And I was whirlpooling. I tasted the wort, and I was like, fuck. Like, I really fucked up the salts on this beer. Something horribly wrong. Turned out that what I thought was sugar was actually table salt. So I took out of the pantry. So the whole batch is
half a kilo of salt in there.
You got an Imperial hopper gozer. That's good.
Yeah, it was a fucking disaster. So it was like half a kilo of salt or something I put in.
Yeah, right.
So we had unseasoned steak for a week and no beer to drink. But I brewed it again the following week. Same recipe, same idea. So it was just toasted oats and a little bit of dextrose, just to dry it out a bit, because I quite like dry beers. And I was really happy with it. Like, it was cool. It was a little bit different, but it had this really cool, nice biscuity thing that had come from toasting the oats. And so when I went to brew this at scale, I was like, I can't really toast fucking 25 kilos of oats in my oven. Like, it'd take me a week, and I would rather drink beer and talk shit than do that. So that's where I put the Munich in. To this beer, and so it gives a little bit of biscuit character. I don't think it came across as strong as I intended. but I don't think that's actually harmed the beer. So, and then, yeah, so it uses that Bluestone New England yeast as well, so try and drive like some biotrans character, a little bit more ester as well. I think I bumped this up to 20 mid-ferment just to drive a little bit more ester profile. Pitched it at 18 and then bumped it up. And then, yeah, so it got to the end of ferment and I was like, oh, it's good. Probably need something else. Like, I don't know if I was just on a tear that week. I thought everything sucked. So I was like, fucking...
Add more.
Add more. More is more, right? So I don't care about the commercials of it because it's just to make the best beer possible. So I was like, all right, I've got another 2 kilos of strata there. So I just double dropped it, chucked that in. I was like, oh, it's good. Yeah, it's good. We need something else. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, so we, I had some euphorics samples. The euphorics, the HPA. No, I think they come from Bathurst, which is the parent company of Hop Products Australia, and they have got these like, they're like super concentrated, hop-derived plus botanical flavour things to add. So they're interesting because they're like, they've got hop oils in them, but they also add other stuff, natural things from other plants to give top notes, right? Yeah. And so I chucked in pretty much everything I had of that, which was like the top end. No, it was about the middle of dose rate, actually, sorry. It wasn't the top end. It was about in the middle, smack bang in the middle. There was the mango one, the guava one, I had 2 pineapple, and there's something else. I'm like, let's just go hell for leather. Like, let's just make this beer wicked. Yeah. And it was literally 25 mils, right? In like 400 litres. So, it was like a really small addition, but, and then I was drank and I was like, holy fuck, like, we're onto something here. So, really, probably a different beer to what I intended, but coming back to that, you know, give the beer what it needs. Like, use your palate. Beer's for drinking, right? So, make something you enjoy. Don't be wed to doing something. Don't be wed to an ingredient or a process. Like, just, I don't know, play and have fun and try and make the best beer you can. Like, that's sort of what we did here. So,
cool.
Yeah, really, really happy with that in the end. It's a little bit of a littler beer. It's only 6.2. Slightly higher finishing gravity. Yeast character, hop character, euphorics, a little bit of malt, like a little bit of toast. Like, it's kind of, yeah, got a little bit of everything going on. But yeah, I was, kind of, I really dig it.
Yeah, cool. And so if people
you
at
got to write
home...
it all down as you go. Sorry, you got to write it all down as you go, right? So you can remember how to make it again.
Yeah, well,
with that sort of approach.
My whole thing is I never brew the same beer twice, so it doesn't matter, right? Like, I actually use Brewfather as well. So I update my recipe card as I add shit or change it on the fly. But like, so at least I know what I've done.
What you did do,
yeah. But I'll never brew this beer ever again. Like, it's just one and done. Like, even number 1, I've got none left. And so I'm like, fuck, like, I remember that beer fondly, but I actually can't even remember exactly what it's like, but I'll never have it again, so that's kind of cool. It just becomes this special memory, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Almost like a, like watching a band live or something, right? I mean, they might play live once a week forever, but it's never going to be that exact experience again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so if people at home want to order this, are those 2 and 3 still available, or do they have to join the waiting list for the next lot?
Yeah, so they're done, man. So I actually sold out because it was 2 batches. Yeah. If it was just 1 batch, it would have sold out in 2 hours. So sold out half of both of them in 2 hours, and then the whole thing went in about 2 days. So.
So you really are getting it fresh. None of it's sitting around.
Oh, mate, like, if it's not, honestly, like, my whole model is like, if people don't buy it before I can it, I'll just drink it, you know, like, or I'll give it away. Like, I'm not sending out old beer. I'm not having it sitting around for a week in my office here and then sending it out. Like, it's just not how I want to operate. I want people to have the best experience they can. So,
absolutely.
And I've been lucky that it's sold out every time, right? Before we even package it, it's still in fermenter when I'm selling this beer. And it sells out every time. So if you want to get it, it's faffbeer.com.au. Get on the mailing list. So the mailing list get first dibs on everything.
Yep.
So they bought half of all this beer in 2 hours. Really privileged that already, like, you know, from coming from the first batch selling out in 2 days, having no one ever tasted a beer from FAFF was really humbling almost.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Fuck,
No,
like,
that's a nice endorsement, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And so then we're just sort of growing organically from there. And but because it's not my job, I don't have commercial incentive to make it to push the boundaries from a business perspective. I can be really true to the brand in that, you know, the people that love it will love it. It's not a brand for everyone, right? It's a bit crude, it's a bit in your face intentionally, because I want to make a point with it, because fresh beer is really important. And something else I do on the Instagram page is, because not everyone can get my beer. Like, people miss out because it's such small volumes, but I want to share the love of fresh beer. I've got people from our community will send me, I bought this, you know, whatever range IPA from this bottle shop. It's a week old. There's 6 4-packs or whatever, and so then I'll take their photo and I'll post that. And like, if you're around,
go and get it.
This bottle shit,
right.
go and get it. You know, don't
Yeah.
waste your money on buying 12 months old IPA from Dan Murphy's. Go here and get this. Like, so if we can build a community around fresh beer, where we're all helping each other, because I mean, I've got no problem selling the beer. I mean, it's great, but not everyone's going to be able to get it. Like, that's just the reality of it. I just don't have the scale to do that. So, yeah, like, that's really what I want to promote and what I want to do.
What is the future with that? Like, where you are, you said, I don't know, that brewery. I mean, can you do, if it keeps going well, you'll be able to do more in the future? I mean, is that the plan? If it's...
Yeah, look, I'd like to grow it a bit, but I mean, I pack every can myself. Like, I put the 6-packs on it, I put the bubble wrap in the can, the packing peanuts, I tape up every box, I put the label on it, organise the pickup.
So you don't want to do too,
I mean,
you got another job as well,
Yeah, that's right. So, look, honestly, I don't know. I just wanted to do something, and I did it, and it's gone 10 times better than I ever expected. So, okay, I'm like, well, people resonate with this idea, but I don't want to compromise at all, ever. Like, and I think if I can maintain that no compromise approach to everything I do with this business, that will resonate with the people that care about the beer that I'm brewing. And then hopefully we can get some organic growth, and I can brew larger batches, but I also don't want to overextend myself where I am compromising either. Like, it is a lot of hard work. And every time we get to packaging day, my wife looks at me and I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? I've got like hundreds of boxes of beer everywhere in the house, and the kids are fucking running around. And then finally I get it all in the post and I have a beer and I'm like, oh, that was great, let's do it again.
Cool. Let's do another one,
So, I don't know. We'll see, man. Like,
see what happens,
like, I mean,
it's a great
perfect
start.
world, have a fucking tap room, sell out most of the batch. Every beer is less than a week old that's on tap, cycle it through quick. Everyone has a great beer experience. Like, that's what I'd love to do. Takes investment, you know, it's not cheap. I build breweries for a living, so I understand what is involved in that. So
and there's a lot of other, I mean, then you got, like, as you would know, all the other kind of thoughts. You know, you're going to do food, are you going to do this, when you're going to, like, it just, it'll be the job then, right? And at the moment, it's not. It's still fun, So.
Yeah, that's right. And so, look, who knows what the future holds, but if I can keep making fresh beer, people keep wanting to support it, then I'll keep doing it. And I don't know, hopefully we can get a shift in the industry where everyone's talking about fresh beer, retailers are promoting it, we can get another resurgence, because craft's doing this at the moment, right? Like, everyone's fucking having a shit time. Maybe this is like some genesis that we can bring better beer experiences, because the big guys can't do this. We're small, we're all nimble, you know, all of us can band together and like create something that they can't compete with. It's the strength that we have as an industry, as small craft brewers. Like, we can do this and no one else can. So, and it's valuable to customers. Like, I've proven that. So why don't we all fucking lean into it? I don't know. Like, I don't care. You know, let's just get people drinking better beer.
No, I hear that. Well, thank you very much.
Very good.
We appreciate it. That was a good chat. Thank you.
Yeah, no, welcome. Thanks, guys. I really yeah, had a good time and appreciate it. Hopefully, Andy, you get your beers the next day or so.
I'm sure they might be sat outside my house right now.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, get them in the fridge.
Yeah, if you want to hear about my IPA recipe that we discussed in this podcast, then check out this video above. It goes through why I chose all the ingredients and the process involved.